YouTube, my name is Zayn26 and today I'm going to be covering my redstone tutorial on logic gates. This is going to be part 1. I'm going to cover everything from there to there. After that, I'm going to cover in part 2 because to be honest, this is going to take too long if I do it both. I tend to ramble on a bit and over-explain. So before I start, I'd like to apologize for waiting so long. It's been about 3 or 4 months since my last redstone video besides the 1.3.1 update. Yeah, I did not expect 1.3 to take that long. I thought it'd be out in like a month at the most. So I do apologize for that for people who've been waiting, the few and the proud. Anyway, alright, so another thing before I start. Each of these logic gates is going to have a sign next to it. First of all, one that says what it is. The second one is going to say what it does. So, they're called logic tables or truth tables. A and B are the inputs, and O is the output. And I will demonstrate with this with the first 2 logic gates I'm going to cover, since the first one has 1 input, the other one has 2 inputs. Alright, so the first and the easiest to build, besides maybe the OR gate, which is sort of a DER type logic gate, the inverter is probably one of the most commonly used logic gates. It's also called the NOT gate. What it does is it takes the input and it flips it around. It's either if the input's on, the output's off, and vice versa. These are the 3, I would say, common. I'm sure someone built an overly complex inverter that has all sorts of junk in it. These ones are fairly simple. So these are probably the most common inverter designs. It's basically redstone running into a block with a torch on it. So this is what they do. Turns on, torch turns off, whatever the torch is powering turns off. Off, on. Same thing applies for these 2. I should point out that you don't have to put redstone here unless you're doing a design like this, which is, I don't know why you'd be doing a design like this. Anyway, so if you put redstone on the top, you can just guarantee that it's going to be powering this torch and you don't have to worry about going around. This one doesn't work because the redstone power is not getting into the block. If there was a repeater here, or if the redstone was on top of the block, we wouldn't have a problem. But since neither of those is true, it's not going to work. I've demonstrated this with these 3 types of blocks, or items. Piston, typical inverter with a torch on top, and a block of TNT. I've also used this example to demonstrate repeater use. It's basically a delay switch or a diode. Current only goes in through this funnel-shaped side. Think of it as a funnel. You put stuff in through the top, not the bottom. This is 1 tick or 1/10 of a second delay. 2, 3, and 4. You can line them up in a whole row and get a whole bunch of delay, or make a track, and you can make all this complex clocks and stuff. I don't know. These are just basic demonstrations, so I'm not going to get into that. So, before I start flipping this switch on and off really fast, you'll notice that this torch is going to go on and off slower, and this piston is going to go up and down slower than the middle 2. So, when I do this slowly, you can hear the difference, but you can't really see it very well. However, when I do this really fast, the difference is very clear. Actually, I think I just burned out a torch. It makes a little tss sound if you burn it out. That actually happens on one of my further contraptions down the line. It's going to be in the 2nd episode. And of course, what kind of YouTuber would I be if I didn't blow something up occasionally? This is for you, the fans. Like I said, the few and the proud. I have like, I don't know, 9 subscribers. So, this is for you guys. Oh yeah, and be sure to watch that one go off slower. Yeah, dirt is not very blast resistant. If you're building a house, I would not recommend you make it out of dirt. Especially if you're expecting TNT cannons. So the next one is the one I referred to as the DIR gate. It's kind of obvious. It's the OR gate. The logic table is also kind of obvious. The logic table itself is probably more complicated than what this thing actually does. Turn this on, turn this on, turn this off, turn this off. It's really stupidly simple. The reason I'm covering it is because of the next one down the line, but for now, this is the truth table. It's very simple. You turn either of them on or both of them on, the output's on, and if they're both off, the output's off. This is the NOR gate. That's why I put that gate in there at all. Basically, it is the opposite truth table. If they're both on, if one or the other is on, the output's off. It's basically an OR gate with an inverter at the end. Now, like I said, if you take this redstone off, nothing happens. So if they're both off, the output is on. And if either of them is on, or both of them are on, the output is off. Next one is the AND gate. This is the truth table. If they're both on, hence the AND, A and B. If they're both on, then the output is on. If either of them is off, or both of them are off, then the output's off. It's basically torch, redstone, torch, torch, redstone. It's an inverter hooked up to these. The concept behind it's real simple. If you push this on, the torch goes off. Push this on, the torch goes off. And this little piece of redstone is powered by either torch. And without this redstone powering the block below it, the torch is off. And now it's on because both of those torches aren't powering that piece of redstone in the middle. This is the NAND gate or NAND gate. It has the opposite truth table to the AND gate. If they're both off, the output's on, and yada yada yada. It's basically an AND gate without a torch on the back. These two are probably the most absurdly complicated logic gates, and by absurdly complicated I mean, I don't even know what I mean. It's like, you could build these in 10 seconds if you wanted to, if you're a fast builder, but they're kind of complicated to build and they're hard to remember how to build. They're the XOR and XNOR gates. The XOR gate, basically, it's if either of them is on, or if either of them is on, the output's on. But if neither of them is on, or both of them are on, the output's off. Personally, I like this one best for opening and shutting doors. If you go open the door, close the door, open the door, close the door. See? Pretend this was the door. Yeah. Alright, so let me give you a brief look at what this looks like. These blocks don't have any redstone on them, they're just powering this piece of redstone. Alright, so this is the XNOR gate. It has the opposite truth table. If they're both on or they're both off, the output's on. But if either of them is on or off, then the output's off. I put that block on for clarity since you can't see through the middle on this one. Also, this is very easy to achieve if all you do is build this with an inverter in the back. Just put an inverter right here. This one's actually more compact than this one, so putting an inverter on the end of that might not be as efficient. That's why I built this one. Also because you want to build as many different versions of something so everyone has their own little preference. So the XNOR gate. You can see that piece of dirt going up and down. Give me a sec here. Alright, so this is the design. There are 3 torches down here powering these 2 blocks with torches in the front. Looks a bit like an AND gate around here, except with 2 torches here and there. Some redstone blobs being powered by the torches there and there, and this little torch here being powered by this piece of redstone. Alright, so the last two I'm going to cover in this episode are the implies gates. Personally, I really don't like these ones. You can basically get the same thing with a AND gate with an inverter, maybe a little bit of modification. These ones are a little overcomplicated for me. I don't like them. And these are reversible designs, by the way. They're identical except they're mirrored. The logic gates are pretty much the same except for the middle two. Top one is a 1, bottom one is a 0. Top one's a 0, bottom one's a 1. Alright, so this is how they work. Also, the truth tables are backwards on these ones. I should have fixed that before I started the episode, but whatever. I'm told the reason they're called implies gates is because A implies B. I don't know. I guess I can see that A implies B, but B sort of it's on its own there. I don't know. Okay, so that was my first of 2 episodes covering redstone logic gates. I'm going to cover everything from there all the way back to there, and after I get to there I might do a little cameo appearance of my clock over in the distance. You can't really see it because that does involve the clock. It's a basic concept. The rest of this stuff isn't really logic gates except for maybe a few, but they're very useful nonetheless. So I will get back to you guys in the next episode. It's going to be titled Logic Gates Part 2, and I will see you guys later. Please feel free to comment or subscribe. Don't be a total troll and make fun of me. I do appreciate a little bit of criticism though, like I'm over explaining this like I am right now. You know how it is. So I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.